Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Lionel the Builder back again with another episode. I'm here with an awesome, talented individual here, Emanuel Perez. This guy is one of my, closest friends out here. He's a mentor for Code and Chill. He's also raised funds to fund his ideas. He lived in Silicon Valley. He's lived overseas. Is known in the area as a builder, genius type of person who can basically create things, is a doer, and I'm super excited to bring him here to talk to you guys about AI, things that are going on. We're probably going to get into everything, but give a round of applause for Emanuel Perez, please. Woo!
I appreciate you, bro. This is excited to be on. I've been wanting to be on for a minute, so.
Dude, thank you for joining us, man. Can you please, let's talk about AI engineers, and let's get straight into, like, how do you feel about it? Like, is this a good thing for the industry or is it a bad thing?
I think it was just inevitable, like Thanos.
True.
I am inevitable. I think AI was inevitable. There's this growth. There's this this graph that goes up, like on a hockey stick graph or a chart or whatever. But it talks about different ages with society. You know how we've had all these past different ages that have led us to this point.
Like industrial age, bronze age.
Exactly. Yeah. The digital age in the 2000s. Then we have, the smartphone era near the 2009, 2010. And now we're in this AI age, and next AGI, or artificial general intelligence.
Shit.
Where, AI is going to run itself without needing commands from humans. Man. So it's running just all autonomously.
Yeah.
And then we had the singularity theory where it's like,
man, we're about to really have a whole nother simulation on top of the simulation.
And we're right at that point, that crucifix point where it's like,
yeah. It's so amazing to me, and being someone left a comment on one of my videos. He was like, you better be saving rations. You better be hoarding your rations for the coming famine. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, hey, I'm getting clients still, you know what I mean? And I think that it's because we're inside a cusp of we're still in a transition period where things are still being built out, and the normal everyday man has not really caught up or caught on to the possibilities of AI and what's really happening on the AI side. So we do have a pocket here of maybe who knows how many years. And then regardless, still, I think when the dust settles, if you're a tech builder, like most of the people who watch this channel, if we position ourselves correctly and we use these tools to still be able to live our dreams using our skills, our brain, and the stuff that we're passionate and interested in, we can wake up every day and still solve a problem for some company using these things. And we don't really have to say that all of the jobs are going to be gone. Now, of course, there is a lot of different, when you talk about working in tech, there's people who want to work for FANG. Maybe that's going to look a lot different. There's a lot of layoffs and stuff like that going on. But then again, if you're an everyday, dude trying to help a small business or something like that, which is where I find myself a lot of time, or helping startups, go from pitch deck to prototype to whatever, there's a lot of room to still cook over there. But what are the type of things that you are finding in your travels that AI engineers and agents can do?
I think the first thing I'm really excited about is voice. I think voice has really improved a lot. A lot of people, when you think about AI voice, you think about the robocalls. You think about Stephen Hawking when he would type on a computer and every syllable would be, and every phoneme would be pronounced very, very audibly. Or you think about other examples like you talking to your home assistant, your Google Home, Amazon's Alexa, Apple Siri, and now those were great. Those were great. I mean, the past tense, right? Because I think those are going to be the things of the past where they're going to have to get upgraded very soon. Because those were great at doing one action at a time, just one action at a time. Like, hey Siri, play this song for me.
Yeah.
Turn the volume down to 10%.
Right. Yeah,
turn it up to the
pause the
max.
song, change the song.
Send so and so a text message that I'm on my way while I'm still in the crib getting dressed. I think it's great for those, and now it's evolved to the point where voice can talk with you just like a human, so you can interrupt it while it's in the middle of a speech, while it's saying its part, so it can react dynamically. It's no longer static. We got to wait for it to finish this whole spiel. You're like, no, let's back up. Actually, I meant this instead.
Yeah.
And its ability to search the web, and its ability to go and use context for different information and different clues. So if you're using, an AI that also has assistance with a camera, let's say you're visually impaired, like, hey, where are my shoes at, or where are my keys? If it has a overview of your room, you can go and find that easily.
Damn.
Or for example, that we did with the kids 2 weeks ago at the Norfolk Silver Library. Like, hey, what's that big planet with the rings around it? Like, oh, that's Saturn. Like, using context.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge, because if I were to use Siri or Alexa, whatever, for that, like, maybe it might have to ask me, like, hey, what do you mean by that?
Yeah. I noticed that you were interrupting it before it finished the spill too. Like, no. Like, sorry to cut you off, but this, and then it'll be like, oh, okay, cool.
Because that's natural, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's how we talk. People talk over each other. That's just humans in general. And we have other things too. Like, we have the ums, the uhs, the ers, the likes. And man, like, I lose my temper when I'm asking Siri something and I get cut off. I'm like, yo, I'm not. Some people have a slower tempo of speaking than others. Some people have a very high tempo. So I think this is just amazing.
Yeah.
I think voice is amazing. We're just scratching the surface.
So what are some of the things that you could see, like, us developing and using that for?
I think the number one thing is using voice agents, which is already a thing now. There's a company called 11 Labs. You may have heard of them already.
Nope.
Well, 11 Labs, they're, how do I put it into one sentence? They are making voice AI. They're like democratizing access so that everyone can use voice AI. Whether it be for your own projects, where you can upload your own voice, and you can now have a digital clone of that voice to read off different things, like, let's say, an audiobook or a podcast, or interacting with another AI agent, and it's going back and forth with a podcast.
Wow.
Use that agent as customer support. And so let's say, like, you really value your time right now, and if you're answering a lot of phone calls, you can outsource your AI agent to answer phone calls on your behalf and give it instructions the same way you would prompt ChatGPT and give that large language model instructions for you. You just do the same thing with 11 Labs. And I think it frees your time up to go do the things that you want to do, or the more creative tasks that you're interested in, but your bandwidth is so, taken up.
Right. Yeah.
From most of these menial, like, if-else tasks that you have going on. So letting a voice AI agent handle that for you is amazing. I saw an example where this company called Bland used it to call Delta Airlines customer support service, and they take the longest. If you don't have the diamond, black, platinum, whatever status, like, you're with the commoners, bro.
Yeah.
Wait through a long phone call line. But you let the AI agent handle it for you, because you see the whole transcript of messages.
Yeah, I'll sit there and wait as long as it's gotta wait.
Won't get mad, won't get impatient, won't say, I got better things to do.
And you could be doing your thing. Man, that's so cool, like, to think about. I'm just trying to visualize the future if I was to, like, implement this into my life. Because so much of my life, and this goes to people who are building their own companies out there as well, like, we spend so much time with the emails, with the responding to different messages, responding to different emails, sorting your emails for, like, things you want to keep and do later or not. Like, the time that I spend actually building something is probably like 10-15% out of 100%, where the rest of the time it's probably something I could have had an AI agent do. You know, if I really was to sit there and set it up properly. As far as like, if it could give me a summary, like respond to all of the stuff my clients are saying, the communication between my contractors, my clients, and it's just always communications, really. And then every once in a while I gotta hop in and actually do a task. But I would be so much freed up if I really was to, like, as far as all of the different messages, like if I could have something sitting for me to watch all of the memes that people send in group chats. I got so many group chats of random videos that I needed to watch, to like keep in touch with my homies. I got Slack messages, group me messages from a fam. Then client, like, yeah, it's so much of that, bro. Like, it's really a whole lot of, when I really think about it, I'm like, damn, I spend a lot of time. I think this whole AI agent conversation is kind of waking me up to realize, like, I do a lot of like grunt work, grunt communication work just to be, who I am and trying to like build. And man, if I was to, and that's where you get the feeling like you need to go off grid to build, right? When it shouldn't be like that.
Our attention is under attack. Our attention span under attack. I think a goldfish has a max attention span of 15 seconds, and humans are like underneath that now.
Damn.
Especially our generation, for Gen Z.
Yeah.
We're struggling.
Yeah.
Like, brain rot. It's everywhere.
It drives me crazy when I see somebody always saying, I'm not reading all that.
Bro.
Like, bro, what is so bad about reading, bro? Why can't you read?
And I think it's a bad thing about AI. It's if people can summarize large sources or large corpuses of context very quickly, yeah, it makes you more productive. But on one side, it's like, I think a report from Microsoft came out the other day from their research, their AI research center, about how like our brains are starting to be atrophied because of the use of AI. Like, more use of it leads to decline in our cognitive skills and abilities. Mm-hmm. I love solving problems. Mm-hmm. I had to learn how to love math. And now with more uses of the calculator, it's like, let me in my head. This feels good. Mm-hmm. It's getting my brain working, but it's like we can't always outsource these tools at the same time. Yeah. So we've got to be responsible in how we use it. Yeah. Otherwise, we're gonna lose these critical skills, man.
Yeah. I'm a big gamer, and man, have I realized so many things about like what I used to want to do. Soon as I first wake up, which I know is not proper because you got the most amount of energy when you first wake up. But I made an excuse in my head, like, I'm gonna play this game while drinking my coffee to let the coffee kick in so that after the game is done, I'll be geared up to do the real work. And it's like, it's such bullshit because it's never gonna be enough. You're always gonna want to play another game. And because of gaming and its effects on our brains, everything else is so boring. Everything else is so boring. Even if it's something that affects your business, affects your money, affects you building a cool thing, affects you building out an idea into reality, the dopamine that you get from leveling up or solving whatever you're solving in that game is so much more attractive to your brain that this other thing is like pulling teeth and feels so boring trying to do something else.
I think because there's certainty attached. It's like, whoa, okay, I have an unlimited number of tries in this game. It's very safe here. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, some parts can be scary, like, I could lose, all my in-game resources, mm-hmm. or, I have to go back and redo the same, face the same opponent over and over until I win. Mm-hmm. But I think we know deep inside, like, oh, wow, it's safe here. This is a nice place to escape to. And our subconscious knows. Yeah. In the real world, there's all these unknowns out there. Right. Like, you gotta have faith to see, like, oh, wow, can I really build this? Mm-hmm. Like, bro, I was, put you a random example. I just watched the anime, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Mm. And there's this soundtrack, there's a song there. And I was like, a word, like, I'm vibing with this. At the same time with Glorilla, I don't know, something about her sound is just hypnotic. Mm-hmm. And I think it was was it TGIF? It was some song, but both songs had 150 beats per minute. But I was thinking in the back of my mind, I didn't know that until I asked ChatGPT. In the back of my mind, I was like, whoa, like I could get in GarageBand and overlay the track, like her lyrics to the instrumental of the song from like Neon Genesis Evangelion. I think it would work. And then today I was like, what's the BPM for both? Like, oh, 150. And I was like, oh snap. And I think, sorry, I forgot how I got here, but it's like part of that problem solving. It's in curiosity. Like it's this stuff is unknown. I don't know unless I try to merge these songs together. Like, would that work? And I think that's healthy dopamine. And like, may I've killed a part of it because I asked ChatGPT, probably, but I probably, some part of myself is more excited to try it out because I don't know if the timing will line up in the something about the beats and the steps. 3/4 and 6/8.
Yeah, you might need to tweak a little bit more still.
Yeah, and that's part of unknown I don't know. And the discovery is gonna be dope because I think that's where the healthy dopamine can come from.
Yeah, and I want to like strengthen myself in getting dopamine from that. I love games so much, but then it's like I know that it's almost like a give and a take. It's like I'm sacrificing, like as a person with so much shit to do. You know, not only do you feel guilty from gaming, but then it's also like you're making your muscle a little weaker. You know, you're making it more difficult for yourself. You're playing real life on hard mode when you do too much gaming, because now it's so much more difficult to do your actual tasks that you're trying to do. And I think you're right as far as like it's the uncertainty that makes it so difficult, because it's like, okay, how long is this going to take? When am I going to be done?
Nice.
Am I going to hit any errors that's going to wrap me up and tie me up and make it even more frustrating? Because there's no errors in the game. Like, you know, you got a solid hour or wherever where you know what's going to happen. You know, like, you might have to work a little bit for it, but it's going to be a reward there. Whereas, life can be so much more like open-ended, and then so much more like of a struggle to do these things that you know you're going to be excited about come the next day if you get them done. So it's definitely tricky and definitely like an everyday struggle, but you know, something that like I think with enough, you know, attention to it, and getting back to what we were talking about before, where it's like, don't beat yourself up too much about it. Make a to-do list and then get to a certain point and then clock out. You know, get to a certain point and clock out, and you know, then it should be fine. But then of course, finding out the type of person that you are. Maybe some people do need the Gary V.
Right.
You know, and that's the only way you're gonna make it, is if you go crazy with it and you don't stop. You know, and maybe some people are night owls, where they need to hang out with their family during the day. Then when everyone goes to sleep, they need to work until 2 a.m. and then get some sleep. But they're like, their 10 to 2 a.m. will be so powerful in getting everything that they need to get done. So I would say, you know, this channel is a lot about like giving advice to people who are on the same path with us. So I would say that's one thing you guys could do, is definitely like find your strategy of it. No one size fits all.
Absolutely.
No one advice fits all. You know, But tell us a bit about like your travels in AI. What was it about AI that attracted you to it? When did you get introduced to this world in this rabbit hole?
Yeah, so I think it started October 2021. I had learned about this thing called GPT. It was GPT-3. And it was
I've heard of that.
Yeah. And it was right in OpenAI's playground. So I was learning about it. I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And I was just messing around in the playground. And I was like, whoa, like I might be able to use this for my startup. Back then I was working with a startup called Novus. We were trying to spot and detect phishing attacks, specifically for Web3 and non-custodial crypto wallets. And I was like, I wonder if I can write code, because I was struggling, right? I was interviewing developers back then. I had a developer quit on me, and it just started spitting out code. Was it great code? I have no idea. It was probably like, it was for a Chrome extension, but I was like, whoa, like what just happened? Then next month, ChatGPT came out, and that was crazy. And I was like, maybe we can pivot to spotting phishing attacks are bad everywhere, right? And 90% of cybersecurity attacks are caused by phishing emails. What if we could use that to help non-technical people and elderly people spot phishing messages before they get hacked? That way, it's a form of proactive security. Almost like Grammarly. How Grammarly helps you, practically right before you hit send, right? And check, we got you for spell check and for grammar, and for tone of voice. Nova's gonna do the same thing for making sure like you're good. You don't get got. Lose your precious funds you've worked so hard for. That led me down to entering a hackathon from BuildSpace, based out in San Francisco. They're no longer active. To flying out there to compete in a hackathon and to get users during the hackathon, and to get sales during the hackathon, and to obtain live feedback from real people using your app. And that led to me going back to San Francisco, lived for 3 months with myself, my former co-founder, and really trying to scale our app to get an active source of revenue, which is extremely harder than I thought.
Man, so you were a co-founder. What brought you to? How did you get the idea to start that? Or did you guys come up with the idea together, or like?
I just saw that honestly the crypto market was just crashing after November 21. It was crashing. There was a lot of blood in the streets, and I figured like, oh wow, not a lot of people. Crypto in itself is a bubble. Like not a lot of people know about crypto, but something close to home was just seeing my mom got attacked in a phishing attack. She lost like $500 from an Apple Card scam, an Apple Cash scam, and I was like, it sucks how bad the elderly are targeted because of their knowledge. They don't have the knowledge to read a legit email versus a fishy scammy email. Yeah. Right. And it's like the little things we learn to pick up on, like, oh wow, is this the right? Is it from @gmail.com or from @apple.com?
Yeah.
Like, is that the right logo of Google? Is that the pre-2014 logo of Google? Or the post-2015 logo of Google that we know now, right? All these small things, these are typos on their website. Like, is this the right font that they use in their copy? All these things that we learn to use as internet natives. Our parents and the generation after them, like for most of them, they don't really pay attention to those things. All they care about is the message, like, hey. And I think for messages, one thing about AI is great at is detecting sentiment. Oh wow, this message is happy, this message is sad. Okay, that's like level 1. Level 2. Oh wow, this message is urging. It seems urgent. Why? Let's dig deeper. Oh wow, this message wants something from you. That's something that social engineers use a lot of. Like they're always trying to get something out of you, be it information, be it a reaction. Like, oh wow, you won a free iPad. You won $20,000. Oh wow, I didn't do anything, but I'll take it.
Okay, what do I gotta do next?
Exactly. You gotta fill out this form and make sure you include your social security number, credit card number.
Right.
And our team will get back with you shortly. And man, it sucks. Like, I got phished recently. It's my fault, but I was on Facebook Marketplace looking for an apartment for rent, and I was moving too fast. I wasn't checking the signs. So that was on me. Man. It's like when you move too fast, your brain tends to skip certain things.
Yeah.
You look back like, oh wow, all the red flags were there.
Yeah.
If only I just weren't so urgently pulled. And yeah, that's honestly what got me to pivot industries.
Oh, okay. Wow. And so how was it trying to? You said it was very difficult to get users.
Very.
What were some of the things you tried? Like, what did you learn from that? What were some of your strategies of getting users, and what did you gain from that experience?
Yeah, so I learned one thing that's very popular with startups, as you probably already know, is like it's very recommended to sell a product before you go and build it, or before you go and build an MVP. For me, it was like, oh wow. In my mind, it's like, oh, everybody's gonna want this because it's just the most amazing thing.
Yeah, great idea.
Right, a browser extension that sits and can spot threats, before you can. That was the simple goal, like simple one-liner. Turns out for everyday people, not all of them are willing to pay for that kind of service. They'll say one thing, but does their money actually talk? So then we try businesses. Businesses wanted to see other businesses using it. Otherwise, there wasn't a whole lot of trust there. Is your tool SOC verified? Which a lot of apps that are targeted towards businesses, like you might see the SOC verification, like SOC or SOC 2 verified, and like have that at the bottom of the website. They're focused on doing business with companies. We didn't have that. And then we had runway burning because San Francisco was so damn expensive.
True.
It was like, Flood to Kill was burning from all sides.
Man.
And it was like, wow.
Time running out.
Yeah, product market fit out there. Like, dang. I think there still could be opportunity there because scams are rising in prevalence. But I think a solution could be an agent that could be better than an extension.
So you guys are like on pause right now.
Yeah, so I've exited the company. I've left about a year and a half. My co-founder is now running operations.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, that's the startup world, man. And was that your first?
My first.
Wow.
My first, worked on for a year and a half.
Man,
shortly after graduation.
Wow. Yeah, I love the startup world because when you enter it, you have, like with most things, we have an idea of how it's going to go. And of course it attracts crazy people, optimistic people, ambitious people. It attracts that. Like, that's one thing I love about the startup ecosystem is meeting a lot of like-minded people. Like when you're in an accelerator that is not, that people come from all over the world to go there, everybody's the same vibe, usually. It's like, okay, wow, we all are like, this is the type of stuff. World changers type of people, right? Risk takers, ambitious, optimistic. But then you face reality of it being the jungle. And it's like, okay, wow, so this is what it's really like.
I've got to kill and hunt when I eat.
Yeah, kill, hunt while you eat. And then you're getting your ass kicked the whole time. And you're basically like learning and growing. But then this is probably what makes your future thing more impactful. Is when you have like, I think that's probably part of the thing investors are going to ask you is probably like, are you a first time co-founder?
Oh, yeah.
Are you a second time, third time?
Right.
What time are we on here? Because you learn so much from that first throwing yourself in the fire that it changes you, how you approach things the second time around.
Oh yeah, it'll humble you. But if you go back second time, like you're hungry. Like, oh, you're coming back into the Hunger Games for a reason.
Right. Yeah. And then, so now with this, I feel so blessed to live in this day and age where it feels like I'm my only obstacle, really. I really don't see a lot of an obstacle to a person who really wants to build something and is hungry to learn and hungry to like go forward. Like, I really feel like you can get your prototype finished. You can get your thing built. Now, is it the right product market fit? Is it the right marketing thing that you're building? Everything else, that's something you're gonna have to test the water to figure out.
And now you don't have to wait as long though, especially with different AI prototyping and scaffolding tools like V0, Replit, Cursor. Before then, I thought it would take me, when I first started my journey, I thought it would take me 6 months to build an MVP. Right. Ended up taking me a whole year, which was insane.
Right.
And now it's like you can build it in less than a day to even a couple hours.
Yeah.
Even if it's your first time, even if you're not technical.
That's so dope. Because we all know, I mean, the devs out there know, like, something like authentication could kick your dev's ass. You know what I'm saying? For like, or that's got to be 2 weeks to get all your password protection, authentication, multi-factor stuff. But now it can just spit it out for you.
Right.
And then
use OAuth.
Yeah, boom. And then now your whole settings thing could be done. What do you need for your settings? What do you need? So then it's just a matter of figuring out like what problem is this software solving. So I'm excited to look more into some of these solutions because I really haven't like I haven't. Have you built any prototypes with this type of stuff yet?
I've been messing around. I've built one for my friend. He wanted to upload a file and have users receive that file, and we have to receive their email address. That way you can skip the step when you have to, confirm, click on your email once you get the email. It's like, no, enter in a lead generation form. That's what it was. So you enter in, it is in V0 in a few, like 10 minutes. You have to enter in their email, and they get access to the form they can download from the PDF file they can download. I was like, oh wow, like it was my first time seriously using it, because I had heard it, like, oh, this is cool, like whatever. Then he was like, oh, he's like, yeah, tell me about it. I was like, oh, all right, let's cook.
Man,
So we got to work. I was like,
jeez,
this is tough.
That's crazy. Cause doing like sales calls and stuff, I run into a lot of prospects who need their prototype built. And I'm like, man, eventually I might have to I'm definitely going to use that. But then it's like, eventually when the word really gets out, they may have to bring I don't know what that will do to the price. Definitely the time would be shorter, but I'm still letting them know, hey, 2 to 3 months. Say 2 to 3 months, I have this ready for you. But like you said, MVP took a year, and man, so that must have been a whole lot of dev, a whole lot of dev code reviews, a whole lot of,
more than anything, it was a whole lot of project planning and a whole lot of workflow planning. And now AI can do that. You can do that relatively fast.
True.
And you can test it relatively fast. And that's the game. I was so concerned over what was the best option. I really should have given it to my user for them to test themselves and for them to let me know, okay, what pain points do I have here? Instead, I really grew in the bulk towards their product during its incubation phase before releasing it, because I want this to be perfect right out the gate. It's the best way for it to be perfect is
ask the users.
Ask users and first to break on the fly. I think Reid Hoffman from LinkedIn, this famous quote, everybody in the StartUp community quotes if what is it? Oh man, it's on the tip of my head. If your view one is perfect, you shipped too late. You shipped. You shipped too late. It was too pretty. You shipped too late.
Yeah, true. So, do you think if you had GPT back then, it would have made things drastically different?
I think even then, using it back then, early stage, it was still very bad. Or I think I like the patience too to work with the chat, because I still have histories of just chatting, going back and forth. And it was oh wow, I didn't have the right version because we're using Google Chrome. It was on Chrome Manifest V2, we needed V3, and later on V4 came out. So then I learned how to grab the docs, feed ChatGPT the docs, have it update based on the docs, update the JSON file based on the docs now. Since a non-technical person, it was very very abrasive jumping in, but now the tools have gotten so better. Using Cursor, you can just upload the files, or you can just type in a URL on the website. Yeah. And it can just go look it up. Go hunt from there.
Man, yeah, my workflow right now is all right, I'll stretch, open up Cursor, GPT. All right, let's cook. It does definitely make you it's almost with your GPS. Now we're starting to forget how to get around ourselves. So you definitely want to be careful with that. But yeah, I'll be using the heck out of it though. So what is there anything you could talk about now that you're working on that you're excited about?
Yeah, so I'm excited about a few more things with voice. There are 2 different niche areas of voice I don't think people have paid much attention to yet. The first one is solving a problem. So I'm really passionate about people being able to speak for themselves and being comfortable with speaking in their own voice and not having to feel comfortable. Just based off my own history of having polyps nodules removed from the vocal cords when I was 14 years old, and it changing my entire voice, the entire anatomy of my vocal cords, entire output, sound of my voice. I want to get comfortable with that. So I had to build a very thick layer of skin because of my experiences, and got thousands of comments. It sounded really raspy like this. And it slowly with time to get this in like questions on it every day. Now I love it. Back then, not so much. And I wasn't very expressive back then either because of the amount of attention I brought to myself. So my switch to the app called Chorus that wants to work with you and helps you to talk while you're in that very, very raw, very vulnerable stages of post vocal surgery operation. And it working with you to help you to speak comfortably, because you can talk to a human that doesn't judge you. You can talk to an AI that doesn't judge you and help you to express yourself, help you to learn how to talk again. Because learning how to talk again from scratch it was rough.
Man, I can imagine.
And luckily, I had my friend Michael, was able to be there for me while I was fresh after vocal surgery, because I was like, yo, I hate to sound my voice. He's like, yo, Manny is about to be crispy. And turns out he was right. A long time later, but during those, having him be there for me as like my empathetic, friend, and it was like, whoa, okay, I have a voice. Like I can really use this. I'm not gonna give up on myself. But for people who are just out of it, I think it can be rough. It can be rough. So I want to be there for them.
Man.
I'm not making be there for them. The second thing I'm excited about is singing.
Oh snap!
And it's crazy because there was this report this paper that got released a couple of years back about like what helps with mental health, different activities that help with mental health in the forms of expression. I've gone through depression. Depression sucks. And number one is dancing. Dancing is number one form of like self-expression.
Happiness.
Yeah, it brings so much positivity. I think number 4 was singing.
Wow.
And like ChatGPT has this advanced voice mode. I think we may have tested it a few times. It's hard, but it can duet songs with you if you brute force it for just long enough. It'll start to. So I've recently started singing. As I'm starting to get more comfortable with my voice and going to getting vocal lessons, speech therapy. Like I'm learning how to use it to its full extent and retrain those small muscles. But it's a lot of fun when you can sing ChatGPT and it sings back with you. They're supposed to do that with advanced voice mode. Open the eyes, kind of put it on lock, but there's a way to jailbreak it. And I think that's something I'm looking forward to. Is like, yeah, if you don't have people around you that can sing with you, or do karaoke with you, or like duet a song with you, like I love singing R&B songs. It just feels so good.
Yeah.
Like having an AI can repeat the next lyric or bar for you. Wow. That would be tight.
That's what's up.
I mean, it's also a problem, but that would be a lot of fun.
Dude, okay. Now I see why you want to learn the guitar. Okay. It's making sense now. I see the full picture, man. I just now started singing, like, never would, like, outside my home. You know what I mean? But, man, it is super fun, bro. And I love music, and I love the meditation aspect of it. That's one thing, since I quit smoking recently, it makes me feel high playing the guitar. And it's a great break from the computer to pick up anytime I'm frustrated or whatever, pick up the guitar and be able to like jam out a little bit and like sing certain songs that I'm trying to learn. So yeah, I really respect you for, creating something to help the people who are going through what you have gone through. I think that's a very admirable thing to do. And I also try to live my life in that way. That's what the channel's about. That's what Code and Chill is about. And I'm excited, thankful to have you as a friend, and I'm excited for the things that we're building. I think we're going to be able to help a lot of people.
Yeah, no doubt. And if on that same note, if I can end with this, like, I think the best startups are the ones that people like face a personal problem with on a daily, or something they didn't notice. I think it was the best. People are always asking for, what are good startup ideas to do? When I do pitch competitions in the past, I was looking up startup ideas to do. It's like, what about the one that you feel in here, that you have inside, like that burning thing, like, oh, the world would be a better place if this existed. Let's go test it. Oh man, I deal with this every day. Like, let me go pull that for myself to scratch my own itch. And maybe there are other people out there that have the same exact itch, the same exact place. Go scratch it for it, earn some revenue along the way. And also, it's like, there are funding opportunities out there, like for your weird and quirky ideas.
Man, yeah, we will have to do a part 2 where we talk about the funding.
Sounds
you
good.
know, that's another thing. And you guys heard it here first. Do your ideas, build your ideas, use AI, believe in yourself. There's funding opportunities. Build things that you feel inside your heart, that you have the spark that the world will be better for you if it was created. Assemble your team, reach out, join the Discord, like, share, subscribe, YouTube stuff, man. Thank you, Emanuel. That was dope.
No doubt.
If you made it to the end, you're a real one. You already know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, join the Discord. I'm Lionel the Builder. It's Emanuel. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.